Hello.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
Good. Just waiting for people to come in. Several people.
Hmm.
All right, everybody. We're starting with you guys showing me your code. And then we're going to.
For the functions we wrote, right?
Yep.
I already did, right?
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
Ooh.
Who's next?
I can go next.
Okay, let's see it.
Oh, it's can you enable the
Oh, yeah. I
this
always
function?
do that. Sorry.
Mm,
Okay.
So this is my code, but I still haven't figured out how to arrange it in alphabetical order,
Yeah,
but the rest works.
Yeah.
So if I run it,
Mhm.
yeah, wait, what is it? Oh, wait. So if I run it, the number of strings is 2.
Okay.
B will be 6 vectors, I guess.
Okay.
And
Why six
C,
vectors? Where's there six vectors?
I use is a vector, and I think it's considering everything as a vector.
Yeah, that's why you don't want to use that.
Oh, what should I use?
Well, you want to know like what the length is, right? So a vector is defined by having more than one thing in the list, right? So if you just have a number 2, you could be like, yeah, that's a number. Its length is 1, right? So anything with a length
Uh,
greater than 1 would be a vector.
oh, I can do that here.
You totally can.
Yeah, like in this, when I try to,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, I don't need this.
Right, yeah, you definitely don't need that.
And then number of booleans, C will give 2, and there are 2 boolean values. And then D is not working. And yeah, I didn't figure it out.
What's D supposed to be?
Like the alphabetical order of the strings.
Oh, can I see your cell parse again?
Um,
Scroll up.
yeah, I tried to do something, but yeah, it didn't work.
Scroll up.
Oh,
C string. So C string is supposed to be the alphabetical string.
yeah.
Okay. Just use the sort function.
Oh, there's a sort function.
There is, and you can use it'll operate on a cell.
Oh,
So, like it's just it's just sort. So if you want to put all your strings into one thing, like
yeah, I can do that in this if
right.
block.
Yeah, and you got to put that in
Oh,
a new cell, like street cell or something, and then you sort and output it to another cell, right? Your D. Right.
oh, okay. I'll do that after I don't want to take time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Good.
Okay. And
Okay.
then yeah, and then
Another one?
what was the last one? Yeah, so yeah, I'll change this. And the last one gives 1. How do I make it give like 2? So is it? It only gives logical
Yeah,
1.
that's okay. It's fine.
Okay.
But the one thing that you need to do is, well, the other thing you need to do is the one with the cars. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
You need to do that.
This?
The car.
Okay.
Remember, it's the second thing in the list of programming
Oh, okay.
about the car. The used car thing with the structures.
The lab view? Yeah, okay.
No, not LabVIEW. It's MATLAB.
Oh, it's in MATLAB?
Yeah, look on the thing. It was about using structures.
Okay.
Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So you can bring that up and take a look at it.
Oh, this one?
Yep. Hey guys, can whoever's talking in the background, please mute yourself.
Okay, so oh, is it this one?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll do that.
Great.
All right, let me stop sharing.
Okay. There we go. I guess it was backroom diagrams. Okay, who's next? Hello?
I can show you what I got, but it's not pretty.
All right, let's see. Okay, so you've got your
This is the one I was working on, like just the standard model. And then I tried to do the used car one, and
you get the
yeah.
cell bars to work?
Yeah, they're not. Well, they're just giving me errors and stuff. I haven't been able to get them to work yet.
One thing is that you should not be putting, so hold on a sec, all right? Let me just annotate. So you should not be putting all this in the function file, right? This is not.
Okay.
All of these two things need to go in a separate file if you want to hold them, like some other thing.
Okay.
And the function should be the top line. Yeah, otherwise it's just like, nope.
Okay. That's what I was kind of getting confused about here, because I thought I'd have something before the function.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
The function gets called, right, by you, but you
Right.
make another like file. Just make another file here, and that can be your script where you just keep, and then paste that stuff. Go back to cell parse, grab all this, and paste it into this untitled script. Grab everything you just grabbed online.
I'll grab everything.
No, just up to here, right? Nope. Oh, there you go. And it's remove it from that function after you copy it. Okay. Good. All right. Go back, just remove. Okay, now get the make sure the function's up the first line. That's fine. Do you see how the little red line is no longer under the function?
Yeah.
It was unhappy with you because you had not put function at the top.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There's other stuff, right?
Yeah, usually my code yells at me a lot, so.
Yeah. So here, yeah. So anyway, so over here in this untitled thing here, you can put like, now you can put down here, you can put how you're calling, your used car thing, right? You can do that. Although looks like you have it in here. What's this here? Toyota Camry. Yeah, this is your thing where this is basically the same thing as your untitled for the subscript, right? It's like just a list of how you're setting it up.
Right.
Yeah.
So wait, when I call it, it's like where I'm kind of confused on where I'm calling it into. Like, cause what do I like? Do I call the Toyota Camry.m or do I put something in here that calls it?
Well, so if you notice, what is Toyota Camry.m going to do? It's going to make this thing called car, right? By doing all this, and then it's going to actually call used car for you, right? It's going to call used car. That's what this line does. So that's perfectly fine. So what you would do is, I never run scripts. I always just copy and paste this whole thing. Like I copy and paste the whole thing here into the command line, and then it's going to run all this, and then it'll run the used car. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
And then over here, similar thing for untitled. If you go over here to untitled, right? Untitled. This is going to define your cell here, right? It's defining your cell here, and then it's calling your cell parse here, right? So you can cut and paste this into the command line, or you can run it. I just don't like to do that.
Okay.
And then these two things, the used car and cell parse, are the functions that are being called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I get it.
Right, cool.
I think I need to do some assessments and stuff. And
all right. Well, you can keep going. Who's next?
I have a question about calling the like I guess the variable for the used car function. When you call car, does it automatic I don't know how to word it.
Are you talking about Mitchell's code?
I mean, yeah, mine and Mitchell's are pretty much at the same place. But like when you call like car.miles, for instance, like what if they have a structure that doesn't use exactly that?
Yeah, and that's one of the problems, right? So what you could, if you're really writing more sophisticated code than we are right now, you would check for that, right? Well, one thing is that remember that, guys, when you're submitting homework, etc., I want comments everywhere. Right now, when you're just writing code, it's a good idea to write code at the same time, write comments at the same time you're writing the code. Okay, but anyway, but usually what you would do is right here. Let me annotate. Hold on.
Oh, you could put like a comment saying like the fields that needed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Comment about most functions will have right here a bunch of comments about how to use the function. And one thing you could be like is like, look, this has to come in with this structure with these fields spelled exactly these ways. But that your user is not gonna is gonna do that, right? So if you're really writing more sophisticated code, you would check, right? So you would be like, okay, is there a miles? Right? Does it have a numerical value in there? Because who knows what you did, right?
Right.
Yeah. But you would always put comments in your functions in this, this space right below. Like you would line after line. And the cool thing is that once you've done that, and when you type like help use car, it'll spit that out onto the screen down here.
Okay, cool.
Because it'll show you, right? And it'll as if it was a MATLAB built-in function.
Okay.
Yeah. Make sense?
Yep. Thank you.
Who is next? Hello? There's a lot of people in this class right now. Someone's got to come up with show me what they got. I'm going to start calling on people. Nick?
I am currently trying to do stuff. I was sort of like where, like at the end of class where Leif was, I was just trying to figure that stuff out because
Mhm.
I was trying to get car to work, and then I was trying to get the words able to sort. That's
Okay,
mainly what I
well,
was
can you
having
tell me
issues
where
with.
you're at? Because
Yeah, sure.
what's the problem that you're having right now?
See it?
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I want to know how the words sort, because right now it's not sorting. I just want,
Go back to self parse, please. Okay, see this thing words?
yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm annotating. The word words right there. If you
Mhm.
go up to your top function now. Go all the way up. Yeah, you're not putting that out. Oh, there's words. Okay, so you are putting it out. So let's see your call. Let's see your call to the function. Yeah, the self parse script. Yeah, self parse A. And so is words D? I can't remember.
Words should be one. Yeah, D.
Okay, what do you get?
I think it gives me an array. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And all right, let's go back to self parse. Okay, go down. Where's words defined? Go up. Let me get rid of my drawings. No, down. Oh, here we go. Words. Okay, words is car. Okay. Index. This is what I'm worried about here. What's happening is it's filling. It's going to fill words with index. So sorry. So index is going to go like 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Uh-huh.
And so there's at least one error here would be, well, no, that's okay. Never mind. I don't want to talk about it. Sorry about that. No, that's fine. That's fine. So let's put a breakpoint in here. Click right there to put a breakpoint. Good. And let's run it. Do it again.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, no, you don't want to run like that. Right? Yeah. Use your
In
script.
here.
Run there, yeah. Okay. Why did it stop? Go back to self parse. Huh. Go back to self parse script. All right. Scroll down a little bit. I'm very surprised it didn't stop. That's weird. Okay. Self parse again. Okay. Make sure you save it. Can you save up there? Just make sure it's saved.
Yeah, everything is saved. Otherwise, we would put a
Yeah.
little thing up here.
Not. Okay. Get rid of the breakpoint. It's not finding that you're. Oh, I know what it is. Here's the error. Duh. I'm sorry about that. That took me way too long. You don't want this, right?
Don't want this.
No, that's the index. So it's like, is car 1, is car 2,
Okay.
car 3. So what do you want to put there?
I don't know. Mine's running a blank.
What are you testing?
Testing for
You're
if it equals the length of A.
Yeah, but what? No, is car. What are you testing in is car?
The num string and
No.
checking the words in num string.
No, is car, right? What are you trying to test by using is car? What are you trying to find out?
If it's a character.
Right, if it's a character, right? What is a character? If what is a character?
Would it be words?
No. So go back to self parse. No. What are you trying to test exactly?
I don't know. Mine's running a blank. I'm sorry.
Okay. What are you inputting to the function?
In self-parse script or in here?
There's only one thing you input to the function. What is it?
I think it's just I don't know what you're asking here.
Well, there's an input. Go back to self-parse script.
Yeah.
Professor Shank, Jeff's Wi-Fi went out and he got kicked.
Okay.
He wanted me to tell you.
All right, I got you. So thank you. So here's the call. What are you inputting to it?
I'm inputting A, which is all
Yeah.
of this.
Go back. So what are you testing in cell parse what are you testing here?
All of that.
All of what?
All of this being represented with this.
No. So, okay. What does this thing do? What does the for loop do?
It equals index with length A, and then it tests all of this stuff here.
Okay, hold on. Go back up on. Yeah.
Yep.
So the index, what does the index run from? What does it run from? The for loop. So what does it do the
Yeah.
first time? What is index the first time it comes in?
1.
Is it?
Or is it 0?
No. I'm saying, is it 1? Look at the syntax. What is the length of A?
Be 6.
Okay, right. So what does this tell you? Index is what?
It's 6.
It's 6. So that's a 1 error that I didn't catch either when I just looked at it first time. Right?
Okay.
It's going to be 6 the entire time.
All right.
It's not indexing. It's not changing.
Okay.
So you need to, so it's going to go through this loop 1 time. And that's it.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you need to have something like 1 : length.
Well, would it even go through 1 time? Because isn't it just saying for 6? It's not. The loop would only run for a true statement or for indexes, right? It wouldn't even run.
I don't know if it would. I'm pretty sure it would run because it would say index equals 6 and then it does stuff. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe
I wrote like for x equals 7, it would just be confused. It wouldn't do anything.
Maybe. Yeah, you should check it. Anyway, the for should be, for index. Sorry, I know this is bad. Let me get rid of that.
Okay. So just add
For index.
that so it
There you
increments.
go. Yeah. Okay, now
Okay.
that's the first error. Now we're still asking the question here. You want to check what? What do you want to check? Like, what do you want to test here?
For this, I want to find out what's a character.
Okay, what? Yeah. So you want to find out if something is a character. What is that something?
The words in the thing, which is
The words in the thing. What thing?
in here. I
Okay.
want to find out
What's that thing called?
a
A. What?
well, it's in A. It's
Right. A. You want to test
Yeah.
A, right?
so just put A in there.
Well, do you think you want to test the whole thing at once like that?
I wouldn't think so. That's why I was confused.
Okay.
It's just A.
Okay. So how do you figure out what the how do you write down, like in the command line, write down how do you access the first element of A? What do you do?
Put in the letter.
That's a little A. Okay, and then what? Okay, now you've got all of it. I want just the first thing.
How to call something? Is it
How do I get the first thing of that cell?
is it 1? Like A of 1?
Okay. No. Right? It's a cell, right? Remember we talked about how cells have to use curly braces.
Oh.
Not parentheses. Try that again. There you go. Okay?
Got
So
it.
when you're in here, you want to test, you don't want to test the whole A at once, right? What do you
Yeah.
want to test?
I want to test the certain things that I
Well,
want to test specific parts of it.
specific parts of A. So what do you put in here then? What do you put in here? Okay. What goes in there?
It's 4.
Why? Why 4?
I want it to be words.
Okay. But how do you know that it's going to there's going to be words in A4? Because you're
I need to check and see if it outputs that.
hold on before you do anything. A4 is characters right now, right?
Uh-huh.
But that's because you made that A. But your user could make any old cell, right? They can make anything.
Yeah.
They could put words in, they could put strings in the first thing instead of the fourth thing, right?
Yeah.
So you're in a for loop. Why don't you use the fact that you're in a for loop, right? You could test every single one.
Yeah.
In the for loop. So what do you put instead of 4 to test every one as you go by? The for loop's going to loop through every single one.
I.
Oh, okay. What is I?
And then you increment I.
Okay. Don't you already have an index?
I already have an index, yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you put that there?
So, okay. See, I was thinking incrementation. I forgot I incremented something up here.
Yeah, and you're incrementing also. Now I think, this is the downside of just like, looking at someone else's code, right?
Yeah, I was trying to understand it. That I wasn't like.
No, I know.
So I was just trying to.
Believe me, this is what you usually do when you're coding, right? Is that if you the first pass at something, often you'll go look for something like you go onto MATLAB forum and look for something that does vaguely what you want. Then you go in, you try to understand what they're doing, and then you change it, and then right. That's often where if you're doing something that's let's say been solved a bunch of times or something like, it's not your own function that you need to write for a very specific purpose, but it's something else, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, like k-means clustering or some weird thing you want to do, you wouldn't start from scratch. You would go to, look on the web for somebody else's code.
Yeah.
Then go in there and try to figure out how it works. Then once you figure out how it works, you would test it to make sure it works the way you think it should work. And then you'd make your changes. So this is completely kosher. But you have to understand, otherwise, right? You can't figure out.
Exactly.
Right. So you've got now you're testing now, which is good, and you can see that you're incrementing here. This incrementing here, right, is meant to just make sure that it only increments when it comes in. If it finds some characters, it's going to increment numstra, right? Maybe you should change that to stringstra or something, whatever. And then it's going to fill words, which is what you want. So this is good. So this is good here, right? Because you wouldn't want it to put index here, because index, now you'd have a bunch of empty stuff, because if it doesn't find a character there, right, it would just be like empty. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so why don't you keep going with this and figure out how to get it to work right. But you're on the right track.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, who's next?
I finished my used car. Okay. It's kind of short, but I think it does what it's supposed to do.
Okay, good. It's not supposed to be long. Yeah.
Yeah. So it just takes a mile. It takes pretty much everything but the cost and copies it, and then it alters the cost here at the bottom.
Cool.
And I put just some sample stats in here, and I got this back.
Okay. So it does the right thing. That's what
Yeah. I think so.
Okay, perfect. Good. All right, who's next? Show me what you got. Bill, what do you got?
Oh, I'm sorry, but I also haven't made any progress. I got nothing.
Okay, well, you really
I'll
need
try to. Yeah,
I'm not grading you on these, but you're not going to learn what you need to learn.
No, I understand. I just haven't been able to do it in the past few days.
Okay.
I'll try to do it definitely.
Okay. Sam? Hello, Sam? Are you there?
Yeah, hey.
Hey, what do you got?
So all my stuff didn't save last time, so I'm trying to retype it, but I can show you how far I've gotten.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, I'm just retyping everything right now. Let me share. Share screen. Share my full screen. That's not it. That's my 1044. Yeah, so I'm just retyping it right now.
All right. Well, I'm sorry I didn't save.
That sucks, but I'll be done with it by the end of class, okay? Because I still have it. I just still have it in my head. So can I show you in like 10, 15 minutes?
Sure. And I'm gonna start going over some labby things in a second, but I want to see a couple more people. But go ahead.
Okay,
No.
I'll stop sharing.
Okay. Zoe, what about you?
I was around the same spot that Dagum was. I was like that exact line was acting up, so I'm just trying to fix like exactly what he was doing too.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm getting it. It's getting closer.
All right.
Sydney,
But it's okay. No problem. Sydney, what about you?
I think I got the cell parse to work.
Cool. Good. Let's see.
So this is what starts up here. And then when I called the function, like just in the command window,
yeah,
I got it to work for the.
Well, see, I don't see the functions call. Where's the function called?
That's here.
Cell parse. Yeah, I got you. Oh, you're just entering it like that. That's fine. Okay, good. So everything seems to work. Okay, what about your alphabetized words? Yeah, there they are. Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. So you're going to work on the used car. How's used car going?
Yeah, I didn't realize that also had to be done. So I'm trying to work on it right now.
All right, well, I want to tell everybody a little bit about, you can stop sharing. I want to tell everybody a little bit about the LabVIEW way of doing some of this stuff. So if you could stop working on your stuff for a second, take a look. It might be good to follow along in LabVIEW, but you don't have to. But so I'm going to get rid of all this and start over here. Oh, I just need to delete. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about how LabVIEW deals with this stuff. So remember, we had like a cell. Oh, sorry, I've got to share my screen to the right thing. Hold on a minute. I'll show the desktop. Okay, so you can see my LabVIEW thing, right? Okay. Hopefully it's not going to be too slow. We talked about, we had cells, right? And so just like in MATLAB, how cells were, are this thing where that's a container that can hold all kinds of different things, right? And you index into them with like, just numbers, cell, your A, curly braces 1 contains the first thing. And then we had structures where structures have these names attached to the field. So instead of like an index into it with a number, really, you use the name. So you'd be like cars.miles, and that would contain the miles. And cars.make could be like Toyota Camry or whatever, right? I think that's the cars somebody had. There's two similar things in LabVIEW that are very similar to cells and structures, okay? So the thing that's similar to cells is in here in the cluster class invariant, okay? And we're gonna come over here to this bundle. This is the creator that's gonna create basically like a cell, okay? So I'm gonna bring it over here, and now I'm going to start attaching things to it. So this is the way we put input in for a cell, and I'm gonna make it 3 big. And I'm going to, so this would be like 3 elements of a cell. So I'm going to put like a number and wire that number into the first thing. And I'll put it like, 2.5. And then I'm going to get a string and wire a string in. And put that, hello. And then the last thing is I'm going to make an array and stick that in the last thing. So I'm going to make an array here with an element, 2, 3. I'm initialize an array, 2 by 2, I suppose, 2 and then I'll make it 2 by 2. Sorry, it's annoying me right now. Just a minute. Needs to be bigger, okay. So 2 by 2 array. And I'm gonna stick that guy in the last slot. Okay, and so this is really very much like a cell. And I'm gonna show you what the output looks like by putting an indicator on the front panel. And when I run it, you can see I get 2.5 up here, I get the word hello, and then I get this array. And I can expand this array. But this is very much like a cell. There we go, right? So I get these, I get the things that I made in this cluster. It's called a cluster instead of a cell, it's called a cluster. And if I want to access things in the cluster, I can use this thing called unbundle in my class invariant, cluster class invariant. And that will grab us, it will take out things and give me individual things in a cluster. So here I can be like, oh, I want this to go to an indicator, and right, etc. And you don't have to take it, you don't have to do anything with all of them, but you can just take out the first one, you know, or not take out, but show the first one or whatever, use the first one, whatever you want to do with it. Oops, sorry, wrong thing. So I can create an indicator here if I want, or I could use this numeric value, right, to do some calculation or something. Clusters are really useful in the same way that cells are useful, that you can put different stuff in there. It's like a, you know, same reason structures are useful. Okay, so this is more like a cell because it doesn't have any names associated with it. But there is something called, there is a way of making a cluster that has names associated with each little piece. And the way you do that is a little bit different than what we just did, but you have to come over to the front panel, and you come over here to data containers, okay? And you make a cluster. The cluster right now is just a box. And I'm gonna make a bigger box, okay? And now you can fill it with stuff. So I'm gonna fill it with like, I don't know, like a numeric control. So now I have a control in here, and I'm gonna call it, you know, my num. And then I'm gonna put a string in here. Let's see, string and path. String control here, I don't know, a string. And then I'm gonna maybe put a Boolean switch here, my switch, and then I'm going to put an array. Oh, array. Here, and remember to do that, I got to put in a numeric in there. Okay. So here I can start filling my stuff with stuff I want to go into the cluster. Go down. Anyway, never mind. So I'm going to put, you know, 2.5. I'm going to put whatever I want, you know, hello. I'm going to flip my switch to on, and I'm going to put my array, you know, 1, 2, etc. Okay. And this cluster, if we go look on the panel now is here. Maybe I should name it. I'll name it my new cluster. Okay. And here it is. And now I'm going to show you these, the names that I typed up there are now associated with all these strings. So if I go unbundle by name, I'm sorry, I'm going to go to my array class thing and go to unbundle by name. And you can see here, when I plug it in, it has all the things that I have, right? But by name. So this is kind of like a structure, right? Where it has a particular name, so you don't have to keep track of which one's in numbers 1, which one's in number 2, which one's in number 3. You can type in your names up here, and notice that if I go in here and put in my, you know, number, right? If I go back to my front panel, Whoops. Right now it says number. So it's whatever I type up there that it's going to use as its name. Okay? Does that make sense? Guys? Can't tell if you're absorbing
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
Okay. So now I want you to think about, when you're done with the MATLAB version of these two things, I want you to think about how would you do at least some version of what you did in MATLAB. You don't have to do the whole thing. Like, in other words, like, I don't care if you alphabetize the strings, right? I just want you to be able to take in a cluster, right? And do some stuff on the cluster, like figure out how many, numeric things there are, et cetera. And then the one with the used car would be like doing stuff like this, making a cluster for your used car, right? Does that make sense? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that's what I want you to work on between now and Monday. And then Monday we're going to talk about final projects, and we'll start with all that, okay? But you should keep working now on the MATLAB and getting there's Alex, he's coming back in. Getting this done in LabVIEW as well. Something like it. Like I said, you don't have to do all the things, but I want you to, do as much as you can in LabVIEW without making yourself insane, right? But right, so you understand how to use clusters and how to use things like the unbundle by name, which is kind of the equivalent of a structure. Now, also notice if I go to unbundle by name again here, and I plug in this original cluster that we made, right? It doesn't have anything in there, right? Because that's not how it was created. So it doesn't have names. So you have to make that cluster on the front panel, to make it have names. You have to, right? That's how it has to come in. Or your user has to, make it in some other piece of code and then call your code, right? Okay, is that sort of clear, hopefully?
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right, so keep working, and then might be a good idea for you, now that you've just seen this, to make what I have right here so that you don't forget it, right? Between now and Monday, you can just make this so that you know how to handle these, and then you can go ahead and write the code later. I mean, you should probably take a break from your MATLAB to do that.
Where did you get the output cluster from?
The output cluster here, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wired an indicator to this after I made this, right after.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Shank, you can still see your screen, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll get rid of it, but yeah, sorry.
Just making sure that wasn't like.
No, you're right. You're right. Usually I only show one window, but I can't. So I'll stop the share now. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey Shank, want to hear a cool thing about contra music, like the stuff they play in West Virginia?
Yeah.
If you shift it into the Pharyngean mode, like the old Greek thing, it kind of sounds like spy music written by a jazz musician.
I love that.
So, like,
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
it has a funky sound to it.
What do I do for like? I know I do the one
Oh.
on the colon and then what?
Just a second.
Hey, Professor, do you want to see my rewritten stuff?
Yes, go.
So I think I know I'm having my small problem. Well, so here's a used car.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't the right syntax. Up here?
Yeah.
Hold on. So right here, no square brackets. Do you see the little red line under there? I was trying to tell you something. There you go. That's better. Okay. And what are you running? You're running used car? Yep, there's no inputs. Yeah?
Yeah.
Don't ever use this for functions, ever, okay? Never for functions, never, only for scripts, okay? So if you have, used car, and then you gotta put an input in there, like, you already have a structure built?
No, I haven't finished the structure yet.
And where's the structure? In
Yeah.
class?
I've just built the 2 functions right now. I gotta go put my structures back in.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, build structure, otherwise you can't call it.
Yeah, I know. I just want to show you where I've gotten so far.
Okay, sounds good.
That's because I know class is about to end. So.
Yeah, it sure is.
Okay.
All right, cool. 2 more minutes. Anyone want to show me anything? Make sure, do you need the lab view back? I can actually share just this part of the screen.
Yeah, could I see the lab view again?
Hold on, that was my fault. I should have just, it's just hard because if you're going to show both, if you're going to show the front and the back panel, you can't just share those 2 things. Okay, there you go. Good?
For half a second, I thought that was your cat.
She does snore, but not that loud.
I thought that was just like an off-tune, like fire engine or something.
Yeah, he does these warm-ups where he bends the note down with his lip.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, class is over by a minute. I've got to get on another meeting, so I'm going to end this one, and then we'll just see you on Monday. Try to get everything done, please, okay? Including the
All
lab.
right. See ya.
See ya. Bye. Hope you finish that cube there, Leif.
Well, I'm about
Oh, nice.
minute 20. Cool.
All right, we'll see you later.
See you Monday.